Detroit is one of the most beautiful cities in America. It's where the future complements the past, and it's where the world comes to sing, play, and dance. It's also a city that has beaten back the devastating abuses of heroin and crack addiction in its neighborhoods. The scars were clearly evident on the streets and on the homes ravaged by drug dealers who roamed the streets at will, eventually destroying homes, families, and schools, the vital elements that compose our community. The devastation that lingered allowed little hope for salvation for those people left in its wake. Hope for them was like trying to resurrect the dead from the grave.
Now, anything is possible if you put your mind to it, and that's exactly what the cops in Detroit do when they fight the war against drugs.
But remember, this is the great city of Detroit, where wonders are turned into miracles. It has one of the finest police departments in the nation. Much of the credit goes to this man, Chief Benny Napoleon.
The 24 years that I have in the Detroit Police Department, operating in various capacities as an administrator, as a detective, working patrol, as commander of the SWAT unit in the Tactical Services Section in the Major Crimes Division, I think gives me a unique qualification to run the department.
But our story isn't just about Chief Benny Napoleon or the brave men and women who work the road. Rather, it's a story about a collective effort between uniform officers and some of the nation's top homicide investigators, narcotics units, and undercover squads working together to save neighborhoods and families that live within the clutches of drug dealers every day. Our story begins like so many others around the country. A call for help goes out. Here, a double shooting has left one man dead and another in critical condition. The cause? Drug dealers fighting over money.
Let's see, perpetrator walked in the house and to the east bedroom and started shooting at both complainants.
You ain't gotta tell me twice. I'm gonna go ahead and put these keys up.
Okay, no, what witnesses you got? What their names?
Homicide investigators follow a trail of blood up into the apartment. Both victims have already been removed from the scene, each of them shot with a shotgun at close range by a drug dealer who forced his way into the apartment.
He walked through the house with a shotgun, found him in the bedroom, and opened fire. From what we can tell, fired 4 rounds. Shotgun, shot 2, 1 dead, 1 critical. And he left.
I ran in that room and then he came through the door like this. He did like this and came through here. And when he came this way, I ran that way.
There are at least 4 other people in the apartment when the shooting took place. 2 of them say they can identify the killer and will cooperate with homicide investigators. While the witnesses are escorted to waiting police vehicles, these crime lab technicians carefully process the scene. They confirm the shooting is drug-related. Witnesses are questioned into the late hours of the night, while homicide detectives in another room lay out the similarities of this case with a string of others in the same neighborhood.
Here, and you got an angle like this. You know, that's a steep angle.
3 hours after the first homicide call comes in, a second call has detectives heading for their cars once again. Only 2 blocks from the first homicide scene, a group of kids discover a body laying in an alley behind their house. After close examination of the body, the investigators can find no evidence of trauma. Because of his age, about 40, death by natural causes is also unlikely. They then do notice the body is in a peculiar position on the ground, face up, with his arms raised up towards his head, as if he were dragged. It will be learned later that the man suffered a cocaine overdose in a dope house 3 doors down and was dumped in the alley by drug dealers responsible for his death. Possibly the same dealers responsible for the murder a few hours earlier.